Yeehaw! Time to review the Wild West musical that so happens to be in the universe of Bob the Builder, with cowboy humor and a sentient machine wanting to have adventure. Yeah, I knew I had nothing to open up the review, so let's get the video started. What's up, everyone? This is Heart Cloud Productions, and I am back to provide yet again another big video on the Bob the Builder series. I would like to thank you all so much for the support and feedback I had in all of my Bob the Builder related videos that I have made so far, because it really helps me keep myself motivated to make more videos about it, and showcasing passion on making content about the show. Also, it gives me the motivation to let this show get talked about when it isn't as big of a talking subject like Thomas the Tank Engine is. So I thank you all for the endless amount of support I had during these past 6 months of letting me showcase my passion to provide content talking about a classic kid show that deserves to be talked about. Anyways, since this note under review and my worst Rolly episode review is still rising in views, I decided to end my summer vacation by reviewing Bob the Builder's Wild West musical, Built to be Wild. Rewatching this movie for the review was honestly more easier and straightforward because my feelings towards it are mostly positive, compared to how I have a sort of complicated relationship with the previous movie I reviewed. There is some stuff that keeps this movie from being completely perfect in my opinion, but the positives outshine the negatives where they aren't too bothersome from the experience. Since this movie is more straightforward on having more good qualities than bad and it is a musical, the sections of this review will be a little bit different this time around compared to my Snowed Under review. I'll do the usual summarizing of the movie, talk about my opinions on the main character, go over the other stuff I like in the movie, and reveal my final verdict. But I'll be talking about the songs in its own section since it is a big factor of the movie that I want to touch on its own, while also mentioning some flaws I might have with it as well. So with all that said, let's look at Built to be Wild and how it is a chaotic but fun musical experience. In our Wild West adventure, the movie begins with a dream fantasy sequence of Muck being the famous hero of the Wild West, while capturing the greedy, stinky Spud. On the gang's summer holiday, Muck wants to have adventures because he was presumed to be built to be wild. The gang soon arrived while also being followed by a truck named Jackaroo. He told them all about how Cactus Creek is like a ghost town for many years, and is trying to get people to come there and have vacations. The adventurous cowgirl, Rio, gave the gang a warm welcome to Cactus Creek and showcased her brand of cowboy humor. She is known to tell stories about her crazy adventures and legends of her great-great-grandfather, as Muck feels persuaded to feel recognized as the dump truck who wants to go on adventures. Bob shapes himself up to be Buffalo Bob, as he tries to be a cowboy himself despite having no luck succeeding whatsoever. While getting Rio's rope, Jackaroo led Muck and Spud to the old town of Cactus Creek, as well as the old gold mine that is blocked off. As Randy the cow broke loose, Muck and Spud tried to capture it, but the cow angrily charged at them to make them crash into one of the old houses. It got worse as the remaining houses began tumbling down one by one, right before Muck's very eyes. When Rio came to see that her great-great-grandfather's town is in ruins, Bob reassured her that he and the team are willing to restore the old town. Bob, Wendy, and the machines made a good start as the day came close to an end. Later that night, Rio then sang the gang a campfire song about how her great-great-grandfather struck gold, and how the gold helped what made Cactus Creek be well known for years. The next day, Muck and Spud follow Rio and Jackaroo to get materials to help repair the old town, but they have to cross a dangerous bridge. Trouble hits the bag as Muck makes the rope holding the bridge break loose, causing Spud to dangle on the edge while being afraid that alligators might eat him up. Muck saves Spud from falling, but feels more salty that he isn't experiencing any adventure. When they got back, Bob gave Muck and Spud the job to clean out the old barn, much to the dump truck's dismay. With Dizzy and the other machines wanting to hear more stories, Rio told the gang about the time she was being chased by a swarm of bees and ended up meeting a big grizzly bear. Muck became too hyper-focused on listening to the story that he ignored Spud, telling him that he found a secret pathway inside the barn. Spud discovered that the hidden pathway led to the old gold mine, and he unfortunately rode further down the gold mine on a minecart. Muck heard Spud's screams and followed him down the pathway down the gold mine as he himself slid down the minecart tracks. The two slid down the tracks of the gold mine until they eventually stopped and they tried to find a way out, while the other machines wondered where Muck and Spud went off to. Muck and Spud followed the arrows to find the way out, but the direction got blocked off, and Spud suggested that the dump truck would move the rock out of the way. After clearing out the rock, Muck then got bunked in the head by a bag that could be important for Rio, so he and Spud kept on finding a way out while Bob and the gang finished restoring Cactus Creek's old town. As Bob goes after to capture Randy, the boulder that blocked off the gold mine begins rolling down the path chasing Muck and Spud before they find their way out. Muck told everyone about his crazy experience in the gold mine, when Rio told him that his story in the gold mine with Spud was certainly an adventure and he didn't realize he had. Before forgetting, Muck gave Rio the bag that he found in the gold mine, and it turned out to be the stored up gold that was left behind by her great-great-grandfather. Rio then gave the red dump truck the title as Lucky Muck, and he is indeed got struck by gold. The movie ends with the gang having a celebration on how Lucky Muck will be a part of the legend on how he rediscovered the hidden gold of Cactus Creek. Oh boy! What an in-depth summarization I had to do for this movie. Despite summarizing the movie took a little longer to point out the important details of the story's plot, the movie as a whole while watching it was just fun all throughout its 56-minute runtime. I like what it is trying to do by being simple in terms of what the characters in the movie do, while subtly providing elements to make it chaotic, but fun to watch at the same time. And that is what our main character is all about in this movie. Wants to go on chaotic, but fun adventures. Let's talk about our lovable red dump truck Muck, and how he was the perfect candidate to be the lead for this movie. Muck in this movie has me feel nothing but excitement and joy as he goes on this journey to finally have the time of his life by going on an adventure that he didn't think he would have and be recognized to rediscover the missing gold of Cactus Creek's history. Muck didn't have to go through huge character development unlike Scoop did in Snowed Under, and that is okay. Not every movie needs to have the characters go through a phase of development that makes them change for the better. Just as long as the character's journey throughout it all is well thought out and entertaining. And that is how I would describe Muck's purpose in this movie. Muck was all for looking for adventure, while he and the others have their summer holiday at the Wild West. His journey from learning all about Rio's stories and her crazy adventures, to accidentally destroying the old town of Cactus Creek, to experiencing dangerous areas that he and Spud could have gotten themselves hurt, to being struck by gold, to realizing that all he has been throughout the movie that he has indeed got what he wanted. Muck's character throughout the movie was pretty consistent without any drastic character changes, and it does help keep my viewing experience consistently positive all the way through. I enjoyed the aspects where Muck reacted to certain moments he got himself into, such as causing the rope of the bridge coming loose and saving Spud from falling down towards the creek underneath the cliffs. And I can't forget how chaotic Muck's adventure in the gold mine was, when he and Spud tried to find their way out despite their limitations of the gold mine being very dark. It really shows how Muck tries to push past his fear of the dark to go and find Spud all alone, without Bob or any of his crewmates to help him. Just like how Lofty tries to push past his fear of heights to save Spud and Lofty to the rescue. The ending where Muck earned the title as Lucky Muck was certainly well-deserved in my opinion, because when he rediscovered a missing relic of Cactus Creek's history while adventuring with Spud to get out of the gold mine, he truly brought back the one thing on what makes Rio's home well known for many years, and it's even more deserved when Lucky Muck became a part of the legends of how he was struck by gold. My only complaint with Muck in this movie is that there were some moments where he was being a little too impatient to look for opportunities to go on adventures. This is just a nitpick that doesn't hinder my enjoyment of Muck's character in the movie at all. But I'm just saying that the couple of times he complains about how he isn't going on adventures and thinks that all he does is cause bad luck on his end does get a little annoying. Especially how he was acting a little salty on how he caused the old town to fall apart when it wasn't his fault in the first place. Like, I get it. Muck wants to do something action-packed or experience something mind-blowing on his own. But him complaining how he isn't experiencing any adventure just isn't the way to go. Luckily, it only occurs a couple of times, so it is not a big hindrance to how much I enjoyed Muck's purpose in this movie. Through trial and error, I am happy that my boy Muck got what he wanted at the end and is being given the name of Lucky Muck. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Muck throughout the movie, and this was more straightforward compared to how much more I had to talk about Scoop in the Snowed Under review, and talking about his good and bad qualities in great detail. It is safe to say that I enjoyed Muck's purpose in the story all the way through, to find a way to make my viewing experience worth it at the end. Now, let's talk about the other qualities I liked about the movie. There are many qualities that I can point out that do help the movie's favor to remain enjoyable. Rio, as one of the guest stars for the movie, was fun to see because I enjoyed her character of being an adventurous cowgirl who tells the most insane but interesting stories about her past adventures, and how she wants to keep her home preserved under what her great-great-grandfather was brought to the town many years ago. I also enjoyed Rio as a comedian on how she could tell a lot of cowboy humor to Bob and the gang. Jackaroo is another standout newbie for this movie, being Rio's traveling truck, and also having a lot of knowledge of Cactus Creek like Rio does. What is unique that I find to be interesting about Jackaroo is that his grill mouths have a lot of movement to them, where you could tell that the animators wanted to make him have lip syncing. No joke. Jackaroo has so many grill mouth expressions to choose from that I find to be very impressive for the animators to do. The pacing was handled pretty well on how it plays out the events that happen, such as getting to know the newbies, the setting, and how the movie took advantage of its 56-minute runtime for the characters to be chill or just have fun. Spud was a great secondary character with Muck, because they just work so well as a dynamic duo. We've seen the two be a duo like this in previous episodes before, such as in the episode Sir Muck from Project Build It, and this movie delivers their dynamic to a T. I liked how the movie started off with a fantasy dream sequence, preparing the viewers on what we are going to experience in the movie. Despite Muck's daydream being a fantasy, it really tells us what his motivation is, and it gives off great payoff at the end when Muck got to experience going on an adventure. Even though I didn't touch on the dream sequence at the beginning of Snowed Under in my previous review, I didn't bother talking about it because it was short and it kind of played itself off like a joke. I mean, you really could have gone with the dream sequence in the bonus feature where it could actually make sense. Anyways, Bob, Wendy, and the rest of the Can-Do crew didn't really add that much to the movie, but I don't mind it too much, because a Bob the Builder movie will never be complete without any of the other members not being in it. When watching the movie, I just enjoy seeing or hearing the abundance of references it has in store. Like in one of Rio's stories, Jackaroo saved her from a hypnotized snake. That was a reference I never thought I would catch during my rewatch on how Rio's description of a hypnotized snake reminds me of Kaa from Walt Disney's The Jungle Book. Another reference that is just more obvious by just watching the movie is Muck and Spud getting chased by a huge rolling boulder inside the gold mine, Indiana Jones style, and that was awesome. One of the biggest praises I give the movie so much credit for is the animation and the cinematography. For a Bob the Builder movie made in the 2000s, the scale just felt so much bigger when seeing different kinds of camera angles, lots of detail in the simple stop-motion backgrounds, using subtle filters to describe flashbacks, and the scopes of it makes the movie look like it could almost be theater quality. And that is what I find to be really impressive and a huge step up from the previous movies that already look great. The animation is also a big step up from the previous movies, with how the animators decided to make the characters dance along in the musical numbers, and even having the machines have very precise lip syncing with their grill mouths when they sing along with the music. The backgrounds also look fantastic, with how it really captures the feel of the Wild West, and how it has an old-time feel to it when the characters look at their surroundings. My favorite moment where the animation went very wild by showcasing Muck and Spud riding down the mine cart tracks like they are on an amusement park roller coaster in the gold mine. The voice acting for all the characters did a great job as per usual, and even the guest stars also did a great job putting the right amount of emotion and giving the characters so much life during the musical numbers. Finally, the ending felt appropriate on how it presented us that Muck deserves to be rewarded as the token adventurous hero and shall be recognized in future legends of Cactus Creek. Built to be Wild really does deserve the praise that it gets for keeping me entertained all the way through with its lovable cast of characters, its stellar but chaotic animation and voice acting. But there is one element that I want to talk about, and that is how this movie decided to become a Wild West musical. For this section, I'll be going over each of the songs that occur from the beginning to the end of the movie. I'll also touch on my praises and or flaws I have with the songs in terms of their purpose for certain scenes. So first off, we have Cowboy Holiday.
Doing things they always wanted to. So we're all going on a cowboy holiday to make our dreams come true.
It does a great job establishing the viewers that Bob, Wendy, Spud, and the machines are going on a summer holiday to the Wild West. The beat and the country melody within this song gives off a soothing but upbeat feel alongside the characters dancing along. I also love Muck ending the song by saying,
"A machine's gotta do what it's gotta do,"
as it establishes that his presence in the movie is going to be important. Next up is Cactus Creek.
Cactus Creek, tonight she'll come alive. As long as I'm in Cactus Creek, I've no need to roam. No, no, no. Whoa, that's my home.
I like its laid-back tone and its melody of taking in the relaxing environment on what Cactus Creek is all about, and why Rio enjoys her home. Also, Rio's actress just really does a wonderful job giving off a great first impression on what her singing is all about. Next is Buffalo Bob.
Buffalo Bob, Buffalo Bob. Yeah, that's my name, Buffalo Bob.
I like how this song had to bring back the title Bob had back in the season 1 episode under the same name, and how it describes himself as a builder but also a cowboy. But in reality, he could barely pull off the qualities of being an actual cowboy that was shown throughout this song. Neil Morrissey's singing is just very charming to listen to, and this is no exception. Next is Fix It Up.
We can fix it up, we can make it right, and it sure will be a welcome sight. All done and dusted, good as new.
After 3 songs of having a soothing but upbeat tone to them, I like how this song provides lots of energy to its beat and melody. This is proof that the animators give so much attention into the movement of the humans and the machines to dance along, while starting the restoration of the old town in Cactus Creek, no matter if it is big or small. Up next, we have Gold Fever.
Had gold fever, and pretty soon it was the one big booming town.
Even though this is more of a story being told through song on how Rio's great-great-grandfather was struck by gold by discovering it at a river, it did a good job on how its purpose is to be a campfire song by being calm, but not to the point of being boring. The second to last song is Cowboy Builders.
They're the cowboy builders, yes sirree! We can dig it, roll it just the way it's meant to be. The cowboy builders.
Even though it is pretty similar to Fix It Up, it is more involved with Bob, Wendy, and the Can-Do crew, without Muck and Spud, stating that they are cowboy builders while they finish repairing the old town together. To me personally, this song is the most unnecessary out of the bunch. I'm not saying it is bad and has a good melody to it, but it just kind of feels too similar to Fix It Up when it's showing us what the machines can do. Despite Fix It Up did the show don't tell scenario by showing the machines doing what they do best without lyrics explaining what they do. It is the weakest and the most unnecessary song out of the bunch, but it's still a good song on its own. And now, being my favorite out of all the songs, comes in Lucky Muck.
Lucky Muck, in and out of trouble. Lucky Muck, woo, he's on a roll. Lucky Muck, fearless to the end, the truck that was struck by gold.
Everything about this song is flawless, memorable, and most notably, satisfying. The melody is memorable, the beat is memorable, the lyrics are memorable, the singing from the characters are memorable, and the purpose of giving the movie a satisfying closer is just memorable. I like how the lyrics are about recapping Muck's story throughout the movie, but presenting it in a way where Muck does deserve his title to be Lucky Muck. Muck deserves to have the spotlight all to himself, and everyone looks fantastic in their Wild West gear up. What a memorable way to end a fun movie with our boy Muck getting the utmost recognition he deserves. Now that I go over my thoughts on each of the songs, let's touch on how I feel about how the songs were placed throughout the movie. For the most part, the songs are spread out without them occurring over top of each other. Like they don't start happening right after the other very fast. It gives out some breathing room to let the characters just breathe and continue with the story. But I only said for the most part. My only problem with the songs is that the placements are not consistent. Like one part of the movie has more songs than the other. The first half has 5 songs, while the second half only has 2 songs. And this movie has about 7 songs in total. I know the second half wants to focus on Muck finding opportunities to go on adventures, but I kind of wish this movie could spread out the amount of songs evenly, so all of the movie could have a good amount of songs, while also having them spread out a little. Then again, this isn't an issue that ruins the purpose of the songs existing for this movie or where they are placed. It's just the inconsistent number of them spread out all throughout the movie is just kind of distracting. With all that said, the idea of turning this movie into a musical is one of the movie's strengths, and I greatly appreciate it. In conclusion, Built to be Wild proved me right that it was a chaotic but fun musical experience. Despite a few nitpicks I have with the movie, it really succeeded in providing great entertainment from start to finish. It had a story where it didn't need major development to be a fun time. The main character Muck played his role in the story very well. Rio and Jackaroo are great starring newbies, and the songs are a wonderful addition to make it the theme of a Wild West musical. I could see why this could be many fans' favorite movie in the series and how I consider it to be one of its best. I give Built to be Wild a 9 out of 10. It is a movie where it doesn't need any strong conflict or major character development to have a great time while watching it, and how it adds the factor of being a musical was also great. Although it is not a flawless experience with my personal nitpicks I have with it, But as a whole, Built to be Wild is a must-watch if you are a fan of Bob the Builder. I would rank Built to be Wild in second place, 2 steps above Snowed Under, because I had more fun with the movie and it takes the factor of also being quite memorable as well. So, that is my overall review of Built to be Wild. The next movie I'll be covering will be A Christmas to Remember, but that'll have to wait when the month of December comes around, since I want to review it at the most appropriate time of the year. I might do smaller reviews on certain Bob the Builder episodes that I feel like are worth talking about, and maybe some small videos whenever I am feeling bored. We'll see what I can do when school starts back up again for me. I hope you all enjoyed my review on Built to be Wild. Press the like button and comment down below on what you think about this movie. And just like I said at the beginning, thank you all so much for the utmost feedback I received during my past 6 months of making Bob the Builder content. This is Heart Club Productions, and I'll see you all later!